pets either because it gets very, very cold out.
Right.
And Greg Riley is here, along with who's your buddy today?
This is my own dog. This is Pagan.
Okay.
And obviously, we've talked about this subject many times, but it's very important to remember around this time of the year, especially with these colder temperatures that David talked about, is take some extra precaution and some extra care for your pets that are outside, or even if they go outside for just short periods of time.
Sure. Sure. Now, Pagan's in a different kind of breed here. He doesn't have much hair, right? Kind of like me.
Right.
Falling out.
He's a Chinese crested. Now, we're going to kind of do a little striptease on him, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Cue the music.
Cue the music.
Let me say, though, Pagan is looking quite trendy in his little tweed coat this morning.
He's got a little tweed coat right here, and as you can see, he really has no hair whatsoever to protect him, especially during these extreme temperatures right now.
Sure.
And what you're going to really want to do is, obviously Pagan is
freezing.
He's freezing. He's a very rare dog. Not too many people are going to have a Chinese crested. But let's say if you have, say, a pug or a English bulldog.
Anything very low to the ground.
Low to the ground, very short snout that doesn't really provide a whole lot of heat for the dog's body.
Now, explain that real quick. We've talked about this outside and off the camera here.
Right.
What's the deal with the snout and the temperature of the dog? Because it does actually mean something. Like a pug or a bulldog, they don't have much of a snout at all. So that's basically like, what is it, like the radiator on a car?
More or less, exactly. That's a very good analogy. And basically, if you have, say, a dog that's going to have a really long snout, like, say, a German Shepherd or a Doberman Pinscher, what happens is that when they breathe in, this little part right here, their snout, will either warm up the air or cool the air down when it goes into the lungs. And that's why if you have, say, again, like a dog, like a German Shepherd, they're going to be probably pretty much built for this kind of weather.
So they're just built better for it, and they can adapt a little bit easier.
Right.
What about outside dogs? I mean, some people have, huskies and things like that that typically keep them out all year long. Is this the time of year when it gets cold enough where they should bring them into the garage, or just try to? Can they still keep them out? What's the deal with those?
What's that temperature level?
They could probably still keep them out, especially if you have, like, say, a Malamute or a Siberian Husky that you were talking about. Sure. They're pretty much geared for this kind of extreme weather. But on the other hand, when it comes to be, say, August, July, the dog days of summertime, that's when you're going to want to think the opposite of what's going on right now.
Very good point. And it just basically depends. You need to know more about your dog than what you realize.
Exactly.
What I realize, because I'm not a dog owner, I got a cat, and he just sleeps about 40 hours a day. Apparently, he's always sleeping. But nonetheless, you just need to know your breed, and that's something I hadn't thought about. Yeah,
right. The other important thing is that if you, say, have horses, you have cattle outside, make sure you try to provide some sort of shelter. Make sure they've got plenty of hay outside because the hay will help generate heat inside their system. Make sure you provide a lot of fresh water for cats, dogs, horses, cattle, and so forth. And hopefully, the temperatures will warm up here pretty soon. Yeah,
we're not getting above freezing. I think we were just talking earlier. I don't have above freezing. That's the next 7 days. Okay. So daytime highs, I think the closest we get is 29. I've got that coming in on next Tuesday.
It's a long time.
Now, can dogs and cats and things like that, can they get frostbite?
They can, provided, obviously if they're on outside for a long time. The other big thing is that if you have, say, a lot of salt that you throw down on your sidewalk, it may be a good idea when you bring your dog in or your cat is just to kind of clean off their paws from the salt because...
Can snow get built up inside and between their paws?
It can be built up sometimes in between their paws, and I've seen Mr. Pagan even here start crying out because he'll have like a little snowball in his paw. So it may not be a bad idea just to check the paws really quickly.
It'll melt in time if they come into the house, but
definitely.
So just check your animals, and if people have any other questions, how can they get in touch with you?
You can call the Honey Creek Animal Hospital. That phone number is 234-7752.
Or they can check out your Facebook page, which is always fabulous. You are always putting new and really cool things on that page.
Try to keep it interesting and fresh.
Yeah, and to find that is Greg the Pet Guy. You can find him on Facebook at Greg the Pet Guy. And plus, you also do the Pet Saver stuff every Friday at noon.
Right.
You always put information up there about the pet for the day, and if it's getting adopted, and if you've got questions there, that's on your Facebook page as well, right?
Right. Yep. Try to.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and thank you, Pagan. And again, trendy little Jackie he was wearing this morning.
He's styling.
Very stylish.
He's stylish.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Greg.
And as we take a break, here's another look at all that information and how you can get a hold of Greg Riley if you have any questions about your animals. You're watching News 10 this morning. We'll be right back.